Welcome to Prestige Worldwide, the podcast, a weekly battle of wits, debating everything from horseshoes to hand grenades, all for the privilege to be called right. And now, your hosts, Bobo and Travis.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Prestige Worldwide, the podcast. I'm Bobo, with me as always is Travis.
Hi, guys.
How you living, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. How about you?
You know, fucking living the dream in the middle of fucking white trash America.
That is true.
Walkout basement, all that shit. Travis and I had a pretty intense discussion that was not suitable for the podcast before the podcast, so we're all fired up.
I am loose and I'm ready to go. And
yeah, we don't have to get into it because it's not. No one wants to hear us fucking whine and complain. But
and I'm gonna jump off of your white trash America thing because I was a little deeper into white trash America this weekend. And
what?
I mean, I don't know. White trash America is right is the right word for it, but I was deeper into the heartland, if you will. I guess we'll put it that way. An area where meth runs rampant and incest is not entirely frowned upon.
You were in Hawaii?
No. I was in rural. I was in a rural area. But anyways, the point of me bringing this up is I went to an amusement park, a smaller amusement park, but an amusement park nonetheless, and my family wanted to go there. It was a place where my parents grew up. It's kind of nostalgic for them, and it was nice that they wanted to get myself and my brother and his kids and everybody together for like a little family weekend. They had a nice little water park at this amusement park and, and also some other, kind of rides. But we got there early so we could get like some chairs around the pool area. And we got there before the park opened. And right as the park was getting ready to open, they announced, we're getting ready to open. They played the national anthem.
Oh, did you kneel?
No, I did not kneel. No, I didn't kneel. I don't really have. I'm not a part of that protest. Like, it would be disingenuous if I kneeled. Because, like, and especially, or if I knelt, especially if somebody asked me about it, I was like, black people? Like, I don't, so it would be very disingenuous. Although I do support, the kneeling. But anyways, but what I found so like weird about it was like, just the optics of everybody standing there in line, and there was I don't know, probably a good 150 people or so in line, and just the optics of everybody standing there listening to the national anthem. Because all these, like most of these people were all for it and singing along, and which is great. I don't have a problem with that at all. But however, if you took all of those people to another country, say Russia, for example, and they were standing in line for an amusement park, and they started playing the Russian national anthem, wouldn't those people also say like, "Oh, this is propaganda. Why do they have to play that?" Like, okay,
wait a second. Are you saying if you took those Americans to Russia, to a Russian amusement park, and they played the national anthem in Russia, the Americans would complain?
They would think it was propaganda.
Well, then they're just short-sighted, and that's their fault.
But honestly, that's what it kind of felt like to me. Like that's dude, you're in America. There's nothing wrong with playing the American national anthem, like before the opening of a business. I mean, we say the pledge every day in school. Like, we're Americans. Like, it's okay to like once in a while say the national anthem or say the Pledge of Allegiance. Like, that's sure. I guess I
don't think that's propaganda.
To me, it kind of felt like it. I'll be honest with you, I was like standing there. I'm like, this is like. To me, it felt like I'm so insecure in my Americanness that I need to stand here and sing the national anthem to prove how American I am to these other Americans because I'm better American than they are. Like,
know that I have a lot of experience with this because they do that every single morning before dog shows. They play the national anthem.
It's so weird. Like, I
hear the national anthem at least 3 times a week.
And again, I don't know. It's just I was kind of discussing this with my parents, and the way I equate it is almost like the old joke, like, how do you know you went out to dinner with a vegan? Oh, don't worry, they'll tell you. It's just like I don't know. It felt like forced. It felt forced to me. That's probably the best way I can put it.
It probably is a little forced because you probably didn't expect it. I didn't know they played the national anthem before opening of amusement parks. That is a little. I would not have expected that, but I don't know if it's propaganda. Again, usually propaganda comes from the government itself, not a private business doing it.
Right, I sure, but maybe propaganda is the wrong word to use, but it just felt, I don't know, it felt like,
out of place.
Out of place. It brings me back to, like, I don't know.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Was it an American themed
amusement park? Or national anthem? Yes, it was it was an American themed national anthem.
Is it like an American themed amusement park or anything like that?
No.
Because I can see for dog shows, it's the American Kennel Club, so I can see the anthem there is a little more,
Sure,
it fits.
But what's the point? What do you like? I don't get, like, what's the point of it? Like, did we forget we're in America? Like,
what's the harm?
There's that it's out of place. I guess the harm.
That's not harm.
I guess the harm to me it feels like because you have to keep reminding yourself that you're American. Like, I don't ever forget that. I don't ever.
Question for you.
Well, I'm sorry.
Question for you. When is the last time you heard the national anthem in person before this moment?
It would have been at a sporting event. It would have been a football game. So
when's the last time you actually went to one in person, though?
So 2 years ago.
So it's not like it's happening all the time.
Well, it's not happening to me all the time, but
right.
It's happening.
I'm saying, once every 2 years you're hearing the national anthem. That doesn't sound to me like it's being too repetitive or too ingrained, or you're hearing it like not even annually.
Well, you hear it on TV as well. I mean,
you can mute it. What if you're?
You can. You can. But I'm not going. I'm not having a problem. Like, it doesn't bring up bad memories. Like, Daddy didn't touch me to the American national anthem.
Oh my God!
but I
went on the flag where Daddy touched you.
Right in the 50 states, but it's not like that. It's just, again, it just felt forced. Like, I don't like, why are we all standing around listening to the national anthem when I'm just trying to get into a goddamn water park?
I mean, you were already standing anyways and standing around. Why not have national anthem playing? Right? It's just another song.
Because it's another.
Right after that, they can launch into some Kenny Chesney bullshit.
Yeah, because it's a minute and 30 seconds. I got to stand out in the blistering hot in the heat, and I'm pale as fuck. So like, just get me into that water and get me out of the sun as quickly as you possibly can. That's all I'm saying.
I peg you as a guy who mutes the national anthem when he's watching a football game.
No, I don't. I don't even think. I don't even think about it. But when I'm standing in a group of people, and when there's a business saying we're not going to open up our doors until you listen to this national anthem, it feels weird to me.
Okay, I have a question for the listeners. Are there any other times? I want to know. You guys call in 747 banging, or
right.
Email us, write us pwthepodcast@gmail.com, pwthepodcast, all that nonsense.
Yes, write
us in. And are there any other places that play the national anthem on a regular basis that you weren't aware of and you got caught off guard like Travis?
That's a good question.
I want to know, because I bet you there's other things out there that we're just not aware of.
Sure, I'm sure you're absolutely right.
Dog shows being one of them. I think people probably aren't even aware of that until you go to a dog show early in the morning and you hear the national anthem.
Why in the hell?
Water parks, apparently. I didn't know that either. So I'd like to know some other examples. I want people call in. Let me know where these spontaneous national anthems are happening. Did you know, Travis, that there is a restaurant chain in our town that plays the national anthem every day at noon?
I do know that.
Yes.
And again, that feels weird to me.
I will admit that I have never stayed till noon to hear the national anthem there. I've only heard the tales.
One time it took me by surprise. I feel like I was there. I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Like, I get, like, I understand. I understand we're all proud Americans, and maybe some of us are prouder Americans. But like, this isn't a pissing contest. Like, this isn't like I don't like. I don't understand the insecurity of it. That's what it feels like to me.
I don't think it's insecure. I think it's people that are happy to be American and want to show some American pride. I honestly do think you're reading into it more than you need to, but
I'm possibly, but I guess, so why not? Well, I guess they couldn't open up the gates of the park and just play it. Let the assholes like me walk past and be like, I don't give a shit. Like,
you wouldn't though, because you would definitely not do that.
I don't know about that one. Like, I mean, I'm not like, no, there's probably not. Yeah, okay. I'm not. I talk a big game, but like, I understand having like reverence for the national anthem. I'm just, I don't know. There's a whole lot more to be an American than listening to a goddamn song,
Well, yeah, you got to know the pledge, and you got to drink Coors Light, and you got to smoke Marlboro Reds. That's what being American's all about.
You got to fly a huge flag out of the back of your truck. Well, unfortunately, I don't have a truck to fly my flag out of, so I guess I'm at a disadvantage at this point. So,
but if you did though, man, that flag would be so fucking big.
It would be, because again, it's just American dick measuring contest apparently. But
dude, I want to have the biggest one in America.
The red, white, and bluest. I digress.
The reddest, whitest, bluest cock out there.
But I digress. I'd like to also talk about the Fantasy Football League.
Okay.
Excuse me, Fantasy Movie League.
Good correction.
Yes, correction, Fantasy Movie League. Because Andy got a second win.
Yeah, fuck Andy. What a dickhead.
You know what? You know what's going to be fun about this whole thing about bringing other people into the fantasy realm of ours, and again, fantasymovieleague.com. The league is Prestige Worldwide, the podcast. The password is Travis Bobo, all lowercase. Come join. Come enjoy the pissing off, the weekly pissing off of Bobo. Because he currently still only has one win on this season.
It's practice. I'm just letting you guys get warmed up.
I don't believe that for a second. I know that's what you're saying, but I don't believe that for a second.
I do.
And I unfortunately came in third place this week.
Yes, you did.
I took a chance, and it didn't work out. But okay, that's fine.
You know what? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, except in your case where you still miss the ones you do take.
Right. And actually,
and I'd like to say that Tim also took a chance. Man, buddy, you went bold there betting on the Rock, and he really ass rammed you.
Yeah, does that give you any kind of pleasure that the Rock's movie tanked this weekend?
I knew it would. It's fun, dude. The movie had no redeemable qualities.
Yeah, no. Listen, you can say that about most of the Rock's movies.
No, because most of the movies have Rock being the Rock. This movie had the Rock being like an amputee. They took the only thing Rock has, which is his physical presence, and tried to whittle that down.
I thought,
was that a good idea, Hollywood? You want to take the most impressive looking stature of a man we've had since Arnold Schwarzenegger and chop off part of his limbs and then try to sell a movie to people? That seemed pretty fucking stupid.
I saw one review of the movie Skyscraper that was, this is just Die Hard on steroids. Or maybe it was Die Hard with more explosions. And
oh wait, really?
Yeah, because it takes place in a tower.
That sounds kind of cool.
It doesn't sound cool. Is that going to make you see it? I'd also like to point out, I believe the same reviewer was talking about The Rock's career and how he hasn't really had a good movie yet. Like
what?
He name a good Rock movie.
Fast Five.
That's not him.
What? He's in that movie.
He's in that movie, but that's not his movie.
He plays a big part in it.
It doesn't matter. It's not his movie. That movie.
Okay, so you mean like the movie where The Rock is like the build star?
Right. Yes. I mean, the closest one probably would be the Jumanji movie, but even that one, it's not his franchise. Like, he has shined in other people's franchise or shown or whatever.
But that movie wasn't that good, though, was it?
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen any of the Jumanji, so I don't know. But I
don't think Jumanji was that good of a movie, so I don't think.
I thought that was kind of interesting because most action stars, Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger, whoever else you want to have had, like, they have at least one like good movie.
I'm looking right now just to see, like, I'm looking quickly at this list of movies, and you're kind of right. There really isn't a movie he's been in that he was the main star that was like a super awesome movie. I mean,
yeah,
wow, that's kind of crazy.
And he's been in some real shit bombs there, i.e., Baywatch.
One shit bomb. I mean, Baywatch is pretty awful, but every good star. Listen, if you're going to judge a star by their terrible movies, Samuel Jackson is the worst actor ever made.
But his good
He's been in some fucking shitty movies.
But his good movies outweigh the bad movies. And you know, and
yeah, so are The Rock's. He's in all the Fast and Furious movies.
But you're gonna put wait. I'm sorry. You're gonna put The Rock in the same league as Samuel Jackson when it comes to acting?
No, I'm saying that you can't judge an actor by their worst movies. You judge them by their best ones.
I understand that, but you can also judge an actor by his entire portfolio. And
correct. You know, I'm not saying The Rock is a good actor, Samuel Jackson, but that's my point, though. It's not because Samuel Jackson's been in terrible movies. It's because he's been in more great movies.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
that's all I'm trying to say.
I got you.
Don't judge Samuel Jackson by his performance in Star Wars.
All right, I'll give him my best, but you know, whatever.
People seem to forget. I mean, listen, The Rock's movie is coming. I don't think The Rock's a terrible actor. I really don't.
I honestly, I don't disagree with you. Honestly, to be honest, his, and I kept saying honestly, and it, kind of bothered me there, but I think his probably best movie I've seen him in was that movie, The Rundown. With Sean
that was
William
a
Scott.
long time ago, though, wasn't it?
It was
2003.
Yeah, that was probably one of his first movies coming out. And I thought that movie was pretty good.
Yeah, I did too.
But he has yet to.
The funny part, though, is every movie out there nowadays is like a superhero movie,
right?
And The Rock is not in any of them.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's going to change, because all these superhero movies seem to be doing very well. Do you think they could build like a superhero franchise around The Rock? Like, who could he be? Could he be the next Hulk?
I don't think it would work. No, he's not to be even as cheesy as those superhero movies are. Look at the actors that are in them. Like, it takes like an actor to a decent actor to do those movies.
You don't think he's a decent actor, though? You don't think if he got his chance, he can make those movies? I don't know. I'd be willing to give him a shot.
I mean, sure. I mean, I'd be willing to give him a shot, but no, I don't think he could. At this point, I think one that would focus around him would tank.
Interesting. I don't know. Honestly, I'd be interested to see. I would withhold judgment on that if it happened.
Because, they tried to do one, didn't they try to do the Scorpion King after him? From
that's not.
I guess it's not really a superhero, but
no. Because he was also in. Wasn't he in? He's been in some other Hercules and stuff. But he hasn't been in a superhero movie.
Yeah, I don't. It's gonna be. It's gonna be tough for him at this point. I think maybe in the heyday of the superhero movies, which I think we're on the downturn, possibly he could have, but at this point, I don't think he's gonna be able to pull it off. But again, I digress.
You digress a lot this episode.
I do, because I want to move on.
That's okay. Well, digress all you want, man. Digress all over my face. It's cool.
Ooh, all right. That's that's cool. But all right. Well, I don't know how to transition from that, but I think I'm going to try. Let's get into what we're actually going to talk about this week. Would you like to do that?
I mean, I guess. Let's get there, right?
You're the one who wanted to talk about this.
Yes, because it's this week. Well, this weekend in particular had some very interesting moments in what I would call famous CEO history.
Sure.
So I wanted to do a whole episode, which is good because it's a shorter episode, which is good because we spent a lot of time talking about the national anthem, which I never thought we would talk about for that long, ever.
Sure. I agree.
We could have just sang it 4 times in that period of time and moved on, but that would have made Travis feel awkward.
It would have felt forced.
So let's talk about what happened with Papa John.
Okay.
So for those of you who have lived under a rock and not eaten pizza recently,
John
Shatner, the founder of Papa John's, is basically out of the company at this point.
Papa
because
is
he
no
can't
longer.
stop dropping the N-word.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess he can't stop dropping the N-word.
I mean, isn't that the point? So basically what happened was he was on a call about racial sensitivity, about sensitivity training, and he decided to drop the N-word during it to explain why is it okay that Colonel Sanders uses it and I don't.
Right. Okay. So let's pause right here and talk about that a little bit. Like, besides that he used the N-word, which we can all agree is wrong and really dumb, but what is I even read the account of what he said about Colonel Sanders, and I still don't understand his point.
You want to read what he said again so we can try to figure it out?
Do you have it in front of you? Because I don't have it in front of me. But, like, what is your point with trying to equate yourself with Colonel Sanders? And
I think he's trying to equate him as both being famous people. Like, he basically thinks that he is Colonel Sanders.
Okay. And does he understand when Colonel Sanders was alive?
Yes, I think he's saying, why was Colonel Sanders allowed to say, as an owner of a company, not getting as much trouble as me? It's very
because times have changed, you moron.
He doesn't seem to get that.
Right. So okay, all right. So I guess, but why is he advocating that he can say racist things?
I don't think he's saying he can say racist things. I think he's saying that how come when he said it wasn't a big deal and I'm going to basically get kicked out of the company? Like, why is it such a much bigger deal that I did it?
And also correct, but here's the other part. Before this past weekend, not this weekend, but before this call where he was describing how Colonel Sanders used the N-word and then he himself used the N-word, why did he say something racist before that?
Well, people thought that he was racist for how he handled the NFL thing.
Okay, sure. So I thought I missed something.
So okay,
I thought I missed something else.
I'm sorry. I talked over you a little bit. I found the quote that you talked about Colonel Sanders.
Okay.
I wanted to rehash for the listeners exactly what happened. Okay.
All right.
So Colonel Sanders, he got in trouble last year in the NFL season for saying that they lost money because of the anthem controversy in the NFL last year.
Right.
And he basically had to resign as CEO of the company because of that, because it came out that he had said that and people got a huge backlash that he was racist and whatever. Okay. That happened.
Legitimately, the company lost a lot of money then after that. I mean,
yes.
Sales were down and then sales went even further down after he mentioned that.
Yes.
So that's when.
What happened was he was on a phone call between Papa John's executives and a marketing agency. The agency's name is Laundry Service. Okay, and they were doing a role playing exercise trying to prep Shatner about how he would separate himself from racist groups and like just doing some role playing. And basically, when they were trying to show like how he would distance himself from the statements and all that stuff, his response to that was he was trying to downplay the significance of his NFL statement about the kneeling being the reason that they lost money on pizza. And he did that by saying Colonel Sanders called blacks the N-word.
Right.
So what I said is way less worse than what Colonel Sanders ever did, so you shouldn't care about what I said, is what he was trying to say. But he used the actual word when he called the blacks. Yeah.
Yes.
He's like, well, I don't understand what the problem is with my NFL kneeling because Colonel Sanders used to call blacks the N-word. It's basically how it came off exactly on the phone call.
Right. Okay.
A phone call meant to talk about how he would deal and distance himself from being a racist in public relations for racial challenges. That was what he decided to say.
Sure. Okay. It's again, to me, it's just such a weird fucking argument to launch into. Like, I don't, like, and again, I would think, and I'm not, I'm saying allegedly, Papa is a racist, but if you are a racist, do you have to try to defend yourself by bringing up other people that have used racist terms?
That's kind of what he was doing. He was kind of saying, I'm not as racist as this guy.
Right, but in a sense, by making that argument, you're proving that you are a racist.
And again, I don't know if he is a racist or not. Like, he might just be a very tone-deaf individual, but no one's going to ever believe he's not for the rest of his life after that.
Sure. I of course, you're not going to convince me, because if we said something on this podcast, let's live in fantasy land for a little bit. This podcast is big enough that I say something that was deemed racist, and that a lot of people cared that I said that, and a lot of people were upset with me. So I go to a company to reform my image and try to get past that unfortunate error on my part. My first thought is not going to be, who can I equate myself with that was more racist than me? Like, I'm not going to try to, I'm going to say,
it's a heady play, man. You try to be like, oh, well, at least I'm not this guy.
It's a heady play. Wow.
Heady play. Hey, man, he should have, listen, the problem with him is he used Colonel Sanders. If he'd come out stronger, be like, hey, man, at least I didn't kill any Jews. I'm not Hitler. Like, that probably would have been all right.
Like, oh, Hitler can run around and say Jew this and Jew that. But I hate a bunch of people for kneeling, and all of a sudden I'm the bad guy.
Right. Like, I mean, he didn't come out strong enough. He should have used, Hitler or Stalin or someone real, like, hardcore, Colonel Sanders wasn't hardcore enough. That's the problem.
So I understand. Like, so in your PR world, he softballed it.
Yep. He tried to bunt, man. Should have swung for the fences.
I wish somebody would have accused him of being a pedophile, so he can be like, well, look at Ronald McDonald. He's always around those fucking kids.
Listen, we'll get to pedos in a minute, but so as a recap though, because there's more news that just came out today,
right,
Travis?
Okay,
or as today, as in Tuesday when we're recording this podcast,
right.
But so what happened after this came out that he said the N-word is Papa John's stock dropped to a 52-week low, and he was forced to resign as the board chairman now as well. So Papa John last year had to resign as CEO. He was still on the board of directors. He had to resign as board chair last week because of this. Papa John still owns a lot of stock in the company. Obviously, he is the founder, and he was the CEO and the chairman of the board, so you can't make him sell stock. But what happened today was he basically has come out and said that I should not have resigned as chairman of the board.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So he doesn't seem very remorseful about what he said, because he basically came out and said that I quit too quickly and I shouldn't have done it, is what he's basically saying today.
Yeah. He's a fucking moron. Like, there's just no other way to put it.
Like, he just does not get it.
Right. I know, which is scary, because for some reason he has race. Well, we'll say he probably has some racist tendencies in him. That's putting it mildly. And,
yes.
And the fact that he's willing to, like, he doesn't see the problem there. And
let me, so I'll read, this is from Vox.com. I want to read you the actual statement that he said because it's important.
Okay.
So the Wall Street Journal reviewed a letter to the directors in which Shatner questioned the board's request for him to resign. Quote, the board asked me to step down as chairman without apparently doing any investigation. I agreed, though today I believe it was a mistake to do so, unquote, he said. Quote, I will not allow either my good name or the good name of the company I founded and love to be unfairly tainted, unquote.
Too late. Like,
what?
Too late. It's already been tainted.
Right, but like, how does you not quitting make that better?
Because he's got to stick to his guns.
God, dude, this guy just does. Oh man. Unfortunately, so I was I wanted to do a whole episode on basically CEOs torpedoing their company,
right,
by talking too much. I actually didn't find that much on it, Travis. Not many times in history has this happened, where a CEO has just said so many awful things in a row that they basically torpedoed the whole company. Papa John might be a trailblazer.
Well, I also fear that this is he's taking his cues from a certain oranged person in America these days who can say whatever he wants.
It's not going to go the way you think it's going to go for Papa John, though.
I completely agree, but other people have been able to just keep doubling down on whatever they say and get by. Yeah, Papa John, it's not going to work for you. It
is not going to work for him. And I want to see how low this company goes because, I mean, he owns like a quarter of the stock still for this company. Like, he's hugely invested in it.
But, okay. But here's my question for you on that front. So,
sure.
Papa's out now. He's he's merely a stockholder.
Yes.
He's a majority stockholder, but he's merely a stockholder.
I don't know if he's a majority shareholder or not.
Okay, so he's merely a stockholder. So, at what point do you separate what he's saying from Papa John's?
So the problem is he is Papa John.
Okay, he's Papa John.
That's a big problem.
Well, he's Papa John, but like I feel like at this point, so
he owns 30% of the company.
Okay,
by the way, so not a majority shareholder. He's a large minority, probably the largest minority shareholder.
Sure. Okay, so there's 70% that aren't Papa John.
Correct.
So there are 70% of people of this 70% of this company or whatever that you are hurting by taking a stand against Papa John's. Like that's like I guess that's kind of my question. You know, we always pose this question on the podcast or at least in our personal lives about like, you know, what is too far to take a punishment towards a company or a person? Like, I mean, should we stop punishing?
The problem is though that he's worth a ton of money.
Okay.
So if he wants to turn on his own company because they kicked him out unfairly, he feels like he wants this. Papa John looks like the kind of guy that will do that. He looks like a vindictive prick who will go after his own company because they treated him unfairly.
Sure. Okay. Go for it.
And he's probably rich enough that it doesn't matter what happens. Like, so he's worth like $720 million right now.
Okay.
Let's say he sells all of his stock or most of it tomorrow and then goes on a fucking rampage against Papa John's.
Cool.
Let's say he buries the company. Let's say like he could put the company in the fucking ground because of what he says. Maybe I don't know.
But
he's still gonna be a fucking millionaire,
right? But I don't like. Okay, but let's take your scenario there where he sells all of his stock and he's totally out of Papa John's and he's just gonna use that money to get it to exact his revenge. The funny part about that is nothing could help Papa John's as the chain more than if he sold his stock tomorrow. I think that gets.
Oh right,
yes. I think that gets the company out of all the hot water. Like,
let me put the converse scenario. Like, people will always remember that Papa is the face of Papa John's. No, a lot of people aren't going to ever remember he sold his shares. He could come out tomorrow and say, you know, I think all blacks are mentally retarded.
Right.
It will definitely affect Papa John's share price if he owns 0% of those shares.
Nah, but no, it won't, because I think the article that comes out is former founder or former president of it'll be former. Like I
really think you underestimate how people tie their brands to some of these people. Like, for instance, let's say tomorrow, Travis, Bill Gates comes out and says, I think all black people are mentally retarded.
Okay.
You don't think Microsoft's stock price takes a 1% dive?
Probably. But
Bill Gates only owns 1% of Microsoft, by the way.
Sure. I think the stock dives, but I also think that's the problem with stocks. Like, are you like I guess, and we're gonna get into some stocks in a minute here too. But like, I feel like if you're reacting that quickly to something like that, I don't know. I feel like that's an overreaction. I mean,
it might correct, but again, public perception of a company is a big deal, and Papa John's will probably be harmed irreparably by what this guy has said, regardless, even if he sells his shares. If he keeps talking and digging himself a hole, it will reflect poorly on the company to some extent. You cannot just totally get away from it.
No, I agree, but I think people are dumb for doing that. I think,
I mean, they are. Just, people just don't know. Like, a lot of people don't follow business like that. They don't realize he's no longer the owner of the company. They don't know.
If people know that he's making these dumb comments, I feel like they would know that he was ousted from his company.
He was the face of that company, though. He was in all the commercials. It would be like if Dave Thomas came out and said, "I hate all black people," you know, like
I hate redheads. But
yeah, like I mean, it's tough. I mean, it's tough to get everyone truly informed, as we've seen in America. It is tough to spread information correctly.
Oh yeah, I know, but I think if you boil it down, I mean, I don't know. I feel like if you're going to be angry at Papa John's, angry enough, angry enough to boycott the restaurant or whatever you want to do. Like, you're going to know a little bit about it, and so I think you're going to know that he's not a part of it anymore.
Man, you have such a faith in the American public that I don't when it comes to that, Travis.
No,
I applaud you.
No. Let's not misconstrue that as faith in the American public. I think that's a short-term memory. Like, do you think that people are like,
okay.
Did people not boycott Uber? Like, a year ago or whatever it was, or even less than that? What's happened with that boycott? Oh, nothing. Uber's still great.
Well, I was going to talk about Uber because they're not as great as you think they are, but
still picking me up.
That CEO has resigned, though, so he's no longer. And I mean, he was the founder, but he was not the face of the company. He wasn't in all the ads. No one could even pick collecting out of a lineup.
Sure, absolutely, but I think that goes to Papa John's favor. Like, I think because now you're not going to see Papa in those ads anymore. They're gonna.
No, you're not.
And I bet you there's a rebranding coming real soon.
Oh, you think?
Yeah. So, like, I feel like this is going to blow over pretty quickly for Papa John's. Even if he
you think so?
I do. I do.
Ooh.
Because who? Like,
man, I would take that bet. I don't know how we could bet on this. Let's think about the terms. I do not think it will.
I mean, I don't see Little Caesars jumping them for fourth place in the chain pizza business.
Oh, I think. Oh man, see, I'll think about this. I think Papa John's is going to go much lower before it's over.
As in stock price?
Yes, and I think they're going to start closing stores after that. I think they're going to be in big trouble.
Nah, I don't see that because again, when it comes to people and their convenience to their food, it doesn't. I agree
with you. I think people have a lot of choices when it comes to pizza, and I don't think John Shatner is going to let this rest. And I think the media will give him all the attention he craves because that's how the media is nowadays. Sure. That's the problem.
Oh, I agree, but I guess I don't see it affecting. I don't see it affecting it at all. I
think what we'll see. I think what we'll see right now is if we look at the stock price, they're trading at their 52-week low.
Right.
I think a year from now, this price is the 52-week high.
No, I think it comes up.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? We'll maybe make some turns. We'll update the listeners next week. We'll
Sure.
think about it because I would like to take that bet. I am very, very, very bearish on Papa John's.
Okay.
So
all right.
We'll see. Anyways.
Yeah, we'll look
But
at
yeah,
it.
it's not the only time this has happened where a founder of a company, CEO of a company has said some really dumb stuff.
Right.
I wanted to do a whole episode on it, but I didn't find that many. Travis Kalanick, the CEO of Uber, was the other guy that did that.
Yeah.
But what he said was not public. He said it privately, and it got recorded to an Uber driver where he was screaming at them and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
And then he basically had to get, shuttered out because of that. Shuttled out because of that.
Well, that and the sexual harassment, whatever, So,
in the news,
yes, let's move on.
Speaking of famous CEOs that have said dumb shit in the last week, Elon Musk, Bobo's favorite person, is back in the news again, which is never a good sign if you're the CEO of a company that's having trouble meeting goals.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really even understand. Again, I guess I don't understand this one either.
Okay, so I can tell you the whole story. I followed the whole story. So
I understand the story. I don't understand.
Okay.
I don't understand what the fuck is happening here. Like, I
can explain to you.
Give us again. No. I don't think you're understanding me. I understand all of the nuances of this. I don't understand why he said it. So go ahead and explain what happened here.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Elon Musk, the owner of Tesla, whatever, okay? Over the weekend, he was basically being critical of the diver that rescued the soccer team in Thailand.
Now, wait a minute. It started before that.
Well, it did start before that. So basically, Elon Musk had created a submarine, like a small kid's submarine or whatever, that he was going to use to help rescue the soccer players in Thailand.
Right.
And they ended up not using the submarine. They ended up using the traditional divers and doing it a more traditional way.
Well, and that's not all they did. The diver in question here also said to the news outlets, Elon Musk can shove that submarine up his ass.
He thought basically the diver was critical of Elon Musk. He thought that it was basically a marketing and PR stunt, that they were making the submarine that he knew they would not use. In his opinion, in the diver's opinion. He thought it was just Elon Musk trying to take advantage of a sad situation and turn it into a marketing ploy for Tesla, which Elon Musk does that sometimes. So,
well, I mean, he offers to help sometimes. I mean,
but he thought that the offer wasn't genuine. Is what this diver was basically getting at.
Sure, okay, that's fair.
In his opinion, in the diver's opinion, he thought that Elon Musk was basically just fishing for, oh, look at how nice Elon Musk is trying to help these guys out, when he knew, as an experienced diver, that Elon Musk's methods, in his opinion, were really like foolish and weren't going to work, and he thought it was a ploy.
Sure, okay.
Elon Musk didn't like that,
right?
And as we've learned recently with Elon Musk, he doesn't take criticism very well.
He hasn't been, yes. Recently,
he is not in recent months is not taking criticism well. He's been more combative with investors, on phone calls with employees, and it blew up over the weekend because his response to this diver was to essentially, if you want to get technical about it, this was his first tweet. He was yelling at the expat guy, and he said, "Never saw this British expat guy who lives in Thailand at any point when we were there in the caves. Only people in sight were the Thai Navy Army guys who were great. Thai Navy SEALs escorted us in. Total opposite of wanting us to leave." Because the guy is basically saying that they didn't want Tesla there. And Elon Musk is saying, actually, that's not true.
Okay.
But then, his second tweet is what the problem was. He said, "You know what? Don't bother showing the video. We will make one of the mini sub pod going all the way to K5 with no problemo. Sorry, pedo guy. You really did ask for it."
Right.
Pedo guy. Basically, he responded to this guy saying that no way the sub is going to work and it wasn't going to make it to the cave. But Elon Musk is saying, you know what? We'll make a video that proves it works. And by the way, you're a pedophile.
Right.
Ooh, that's dicey.
Well, okay. So this is what I don't understand. Of all the insults out there, why is that the one that he's throwing out?
Is that you didn't understand that?
What do you mean I didn't understand that?
Oh, I thought for certain that you would have understood that he made the insult because it's kind of racist to Thailand.
Well, I don't think that's racist. I think a lot of people go there to diddle little boys.
Right, and that's what he was basically saying. He was using it as an insult, a racial slur also.
It's not a racial slur.
I think you have to read between the lines there.
How is calling somebody a pedophile a racial slur?
Because Thailand is known as a place where there's a lot of sex trafficking with minors.
Because it's true.
Right.
I don't.
But he was using that,
but that's
in a term. That doesn't mean that guy is a sex trafficker of minors. But he's definitely Taiwanese descent. That's a stereotype. But that's a racial slur.
It's not. It's. I don't follow your logic there. It's not It's not racist at all. That's not. I don't know how you get from point A to point B. Yeah, it's okay. People go there to have sex with little boys. That's a fact. So, you call him a pedophile.
Right.
I guess that's where that comes in to the area that he's in. But,
can I ask? Can I? Let me explain how that works. Okay.
Sure.
Pedo is a term in general for pedophiles. Okay.
Right. Yes.
But that not every racial slur has its meaning that has a word all its own. But for instance, would you consider the word wetback to be a racial slur?
Yes.
Do you know what wetback comes from?
Right. Yes.
Do you understand what it came from? People that were swimming across the Rio Grande to reach the U.S.
Okay.
Is what that's why they started being called wetbacks, because they were swimming across the Rio Grande to reach the United States. But it's a stereotype of that kind of person that every someone that looks like that would be that kind of person. This is the same situation. It just turns out that the word pedo actually already has a meaning, and it could also be used in a non-racial context.
But what is the other meaning of a wetback?
There isn't one. My point is pedo has another meaning. However, in this point, if the guy that he was calling a pedophile had not been Taiwanese, he probably would not have used that term to describe him. He would have used another kind of slur or derogatory term. But he picked that one because of his race. And when you pick a term to insult someone because of their race, that's a racial slur.
Oh, okay. I guess I don't agree with that. I see your point. It's just, I think you're trying to make more of it than what it is.
Oh, I don't think I am at all. So calling someone a pedophile in general is a pretty mean thing to do, regardless of your race.
Oh, I agree with that. That's why it's a weird. It's why it's a weird thing to call somebody a pedophile, like just out of the blue. Like,
I mean, I think it's not out of the blue. I think it's a racial slur against Taiwanese people, and I think that's or not. What is the word? It's not Taiwanese. It would not be someone from Taiwan. What do you call someone from Thailand?
I think it is
Thai.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're Thai. Yeah, they're Thai people. But
I apologize. It's just Thai. I think it's a slur against Thai people.
But I guess my point, I guess. But when I think of people going to Thailand to diddle little boys, it's not Thai. It's not Thai people. Thai people don't travel into different regions of Thailand to diddle little boys. It's people coming from.
Okay, I see your side of the point now. Okay, now I see why you're confused. I think he's misinterpreting that slur to be against people, in Thai because of that whole context. But I agree. Usually, the people that go to diddle little boys are not from Thailand.
All right, so let's just put it this way, because
so I see your point.
You're assuming a lot. Let's just boil it down to he called the dude a pedophile. Which is a bad thing.
That's a problem.
Right. It's a bad thing. And it's
right.
It's a weird thing to call somebody. Like,
It's not weird. I mean, it's pretty fucked up, especially considering today's climate with, Bill Cosby and all these sexual assault charges running around these people. I mean, like, it's pretty sensitive these days.
Oh, sure. No, I understand the sensitivity of it, and I get all of that. But it is like, he couldn't have called him a cunt. Like you couldn't have called it like anything else that could have been. I don't know, just pedo. I don't know. Maybe he was just trying.
That's
to be
why
sly.
I'm trying to say. Like, I see what your confusion is,
right?
And I think I'm trying to explain what he actually meant, and I think he meant to say racial slur. That's what I'm trying to get at.
I know what you're. I know what you're trying
picking up
to
on
do.
that. So whatever, we'll leave it.
Right.
That's just Bobo's opinion.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
But the worst part about this insult is, so some other guy responded to his insult and said, "Oh, sorry." This is some dude, his Twitter handle was Gossy the Dog.
Right.
Hang on a second. And his tweet was, "Oh, sorry." He's calling the guy who found the children a pedo. Real classy at Elon Musk. And Elon Musk's reply to that gentleman was, "Bet you a signed dollar it's true."
Right.
Now, he just didn't say a pedo as a typo or as a random insult. He meant that he thought the guy's a pedophile, and then doubled down by saying, "I'll bet you fucking money he is."
Well, sure. The problem is, he replied to the part about the guys not wanting to leave. Like, he replied to the tweet about the guys not wanting to leave. So while I agree with you that
what? No. He responded directly to this tweet, saying, calling the guy who found the children a pedo real classy. His direct reply to that was, "Bet you a signed dollar it's true."
No, he didn't. Look at the
line.
Look at the screen cap.
Look at the line. It goes right down to it.
I know, but look at the screen cap. It's not that tweet. It's the tweet about the guys not wanting to leave. I know what
I'm not seeing that.
It's the picture right below it. It says, "Never saw this British expat guy who lives in Thailand at any point when we were in the caves. Only people in," and it goes and it keeps going on.
That was his own tweet.
He's replying to that tweet. That's what I'm saying.
I think you're reading it wrong.
That's how.
Look at this tweet below. Replying to @Gossy the Dog.
Right.
Gossy the Dog's tweet's above it, which said, "Oh, sorry."
Gossy is replying to that one. Okay.
Yes.
So So you can interpret this a couple different ways.
Oh, I don't think you can. We're going to disagree on that.
Okay. Sure. Jesus Christ.
Like, I think he's responding to the guy who said, sorry, he's calling the guy who found the children a pedo, and Elon Musk is saying, yeah, I bet you he's a pedo. I bet you $9 it's true.
Okay. Sure. Then, yeah, I like, none of this is good for Elon Musk.
Right, my point is, though, is I don't think he meant it as just like it wasn't a typo or anything. Like, I think he meant to say pedo and said pedo.
I think he meant to say pedo as well. It's just a bad fucking move. Like, it's a dumb fucking move. Like, I don't understand why you're on Twitter arguing with people. We can all agree, internet arguing, it never goes good. It never goes well.
No, not at all.
So, like, what are you doing as a CEO of a company on Twitter arguing with people? Like,
the problem with this, Elon Musk, is what you just said there cost your shareholders $2 billion.
Sure. 5%.
That's a big fucking mistake.
Well, yes.
It's a $2 billion. That's a $2 billion insult.
Sure. Like in the fake world, like in stock world, a 5%.
Right.
It's a 5%
it's gonna go bounce up down after. It dropped 4% though right after that comment was made. So
right.
Definitely, it might go back up in a. It's not real money until you sell your shares.
Right. I understand. Yes. Yeah, I get the stock price. It is a dumb fucking move. It's
really dumb.
Like, what the hell are you doing? What are you trying to be cheeky on Twitter with calling the dude a pedo? Like,
I do not know what his end game there was. I would love to ask him what his end game was.
Did he hit his character allotment that he couldn't just spell out pedophile?
I think he just has. I think he doesn't take criticism well. I think he really gets upset and he just says things he doesn't tend to say. I think he's got an anger problem.
I tell you what though, I'll be honest with you as well. If some asshole called me out called me out in the media because I was trying to help and called me disingenuous, if I was trying to actually help, that would piss me off something fierce as well. Would I?
Absolutely.
If I were the head of a company, would I get onto Twitter and argue with this dude? No.
Right. That's the point. Is this be adults about it, especially when you're the head of one of the largest companies in the world.
Right. So,
what are you doing in your spare time? This is what you do in your spare time? You're on your lunch break? You're fucking just arguing with some dude on Twitter?
Yeah. I mean, it is like
not a good look.
Twitter's a dangerous thing, man. Like, let's just put it. Social media is a dangerous thing. It
is funny how it trips up so many truly intelligent people. Like, as much as I hate Elon Musk, you can't deny he's a fucking brilliant person.
Sure.
He might be a shitty businessman, which I think he is also, but he is definitely a visionary and a dreamer and a very talented individual. And it's still, it tripped him up too. Twitter is the fucking hurdle no one can get over.
Yeah, it is. It's true. It's kind of fascinating to watch, though. In a kind of perverse way, it's fascinating to watch how much ego really drives your day-to-day actions. And
I agree. It's crazy.
You have one scuba diver in Thailand that criticizes you for possibly being disingenuous when it comes to helping people, and you lose your shit, and this happens. And
it's just such a weird response. He accuses you of being disingenuous. You accuse him of raping little boys.
That is again. That's what I was trying to say. It is such a weird. It's such a weird insult to make. Again, if you're that angry, that's the first insult you go to.
It's a pretty deep insult. Because you can't put the cat back in the bag after something like that. It's a pretty harsh way to go. You didn't just go to fucking 2 or 3. You turned it to 11.
That's true. That is true. I mean, because
I wonder if this is this is not the first time Elon Musk has done something like this recently, and I don't think it'll be the last if that's what he tends to do. It's scary if you're a Tesla investor. If this is the guy running your company that you've given a lot of money to, and they haven't turned a profit yet, and now he's like, this is how he's starting to act. Like, is he starting to lose it?
Yeah, I mean, I believe this is the beginning of the personal insult. Like, I know he's fighting back on a lot of the things that people are saying that he deems untrue, whether they are or not. Right. I don't know enough to say, but like, let's stop the personal insults. Let's just. And
I just want to say before we move on, we don't have time for end times. We're at the end of the episode, but that's okay. That I've been on the bandwagon from day one about not liking Elon Musk and thinking he was trying to fool the American people and investors and whatever.
Sure.
But today, the Washington Post ran an article. It's on the front of the op-ed section of the Washington Post. Quote, "We're finally getting sick of the Elon Musks of the world." Unquote. So it's catching up to him. I was the front runner though, holding that flag, and they're starting to get behind me.
Wait, there's so many things about what you just said. No,
don't worry about it.
You just quoted an op-ed, which is the Twitter of newspapers.
Right, on the front page of the Washington Post, though. I'm not saying this is a reputable news. It's an op-ed. It's not a news story. But the tide against Elon Musk used to be the golden boy of everyone loved him is turning.
But what is the crux of the op-ed? It says we're tired of the Elon Musks of the world. So, like, there's more...
the billionaires like this that have fucking mouths, that's the issue.
Okay.
He's turning himself into that traditional, like, rich dickhead.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, listen, the insult aside, I get it, but, like, all this was over him trying to pitch in to help. Like,
oh, right. But again, if you think he's disingenuous though, and his response when you criticize him to call someone a pedo, you might actually think that might have held some weight.
Sure, I get it. I think he went pretty far to try to demonstrate he wasn't disingenuous. I mean,
true. I'm not saying he was or not. I'm not going to argue that because I don't know enough about what he actually did or not to know if he was actually making a reasonable attempt or not. He probably, I don't know. But again, don't call someone a pedo. That probably doesn't help your argument at all.
Sure. Yes, 100%.
That's not the way to win people's hearts.
100% agree with that.
Because unfortunately, when you start criticizing people that are doing good in the world like that, it starts to turn you into a certain person on Twitter that you don't want to be. And we all know who that is.
Yes, we do. And on that note...
Number is 747 banging.
747-226-4464.
So again, we want you to call in, and what I want people to call in is, about the national anthem.
Yes, the national anthem. We want that. We need a poll for this week as well.
Are you getting sick of Elon Musk?
Are you getting? Okay, I'll go along with that.
How many times can I vote on this poll, Travis?
As many times as you want, but you're not going to outvote me.
Oh, okay. And you can vote at pwthepodcast.com. Again, if you text your vote in, you email it, you put it on Facebook, we'll get it counted. Don't worry.
Yes.
pwthepodcast.com, pwthepodcast on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all the social media stuff. You can find us on SoundCloud, iTunes, or Apple Podcasts now, Google Play, Stitcher, all that nonsense. Search for Prestige Worldwide, the podcast.
Yep.
If you want to join the Fantasy Movie League, go to fantasymovieleague.com, search for Prestige Worldwide, the podcast, and the password is Travis Bobo. One word, all lowercase. Travis Bobo.
That's it.
Don't vote for Skyscraper. You might end up being in last place.
Yeah, but who knew Hotel Transylvania 3 was gonna be the safe pick? But
dude, there are no safe picks in Fantasy Movie League. It is a dogfight out there.
It is a dog-eat-dog world out there.
It is dog-eat-dog world out there. And I can't wait till the real season starts to show you guys all how much I can correctly guess movie predictions and fucking movie box office proceeds. You can't fucking wait. You
can't even explain what you're gonna do, let alone do it. So.
I can't even explain my mind. I'm gonna start calling people pedos. I can't get it out.
Well, for myself and my pal, little kid lover Bobo, I think that does it for this week. What say you?
See you guys next Tuesday. Thursday. Fuck.
See you next Thursday.